Ladies and gentlemen, dumelang. Lebitso la ka ke setjhaba ko. Ka kgona ba bang ba ntse ba bang ha ba ntse. A ke tsamaya bosiu batho ba re ke sa setjhaba. Ha ke shapa dipina wa ditho. Ha ne re thuse ho matlafatsa tsebo ya rona le hore re phakalatse ho utlwisisa bona. What is the music industry? What are the ingredients they use in music industry? And one of the things is we have publishing we have music artist management. So guys, without me clear straight into it because bunyane na bese tsebeterese di so re ba fa ba bua le ba ke tsena hore ska wa go go ga le go ba tla go tsitsi kofi ya na mane ba re tse be ha karas.
So I just said we have a presentation for you guys. How many of you guys are musicians? How many producers who own studios? Sure. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. All right. How many of you are songwriters?
Just keep it there.
This is the share publishing African composers. So what we did here, I just took one client per territory in Africa that we represent. So, I mean, you already be able to see your Kespa, Questa, Sahara, Lira, but that's part of us in South Africa. This is the clientele that we have. Oh, you don't really care. This is the clientele we have. We have like traditionally we represent Koba, Hillsong, Mushroom, Hillsongs, Capital, Downtown Studios, so there's millions of other people that represent. So what we do is that we represent internationals into Africa and Asian. Same vice versa. Whatever the catalog we have and sign, they represent us internationally. So whatever we do to try for you, we make sure that the word, whatever it is to be used, is actually collected by the same publishers, sell it back to us so we can pay. Okay. Now, so the industry has two sectors that are very, very important. We have the recording side, the master recording side, and we have the intellectual copyright side. I'm not blocking you. Can you guys see the visual? Property, copyright side. So if you look on the master recording side, you have an artist signed to the record label, we have a producer signed to the record label. So in a lot of hip-hop side of the yarn, they think a producer is a composer. But producer is the ideal person, is the person that actually look overall of whatever the company is looking for. If you're looking for top, he's the one that actually will get musicians and book the studio and make sure that whatever the company is looking for, is actually put together to have that album. That's a producer. The producer gets the producer's fee from the company, right? The artist gets the artist's royalty from the record company. You understand the difference? So the artist, the image, the person on stage, the producer is the ideal person behind the picture that happened. The producer gets the money from the artist's royalty, but it's all getting paid from the record company. When you get to the intellectual property side, we talk about the composer, the person who did the melody music, then we talk about the author of the lyricist. So all those people get signed to a publisher, right? And the publisher pays them their royalties. So public performance is what we find at South African Music Rights Organization, SAMRO. So anything you hear, when you open your radio, you hear something, right? That's performance, that's public performance. On the club here, they're supposed to have a license with people like SAMRO to say, any music that they are paying, they must pay a license for it. If they get to the bank, they have that license. You go to the malls, they have that license. Anyone that plays music, right, to attract those customers, they have to pay that license so that the users of the composers of that music, they can benefit from it. So synchronization. Synchronization is are borrowing your song to sell your product, right? The owner of the rights wants to merge a piece of music with their existing proprietary rights, right? So the reason for why you see advert, the reason for that, or you see a song used in a movie, right, is to set the mood, right, for their brand. And people always ask, Coca-Cola is a well-known brand, why are they still doing an advert, right? So there's a reason for that. They remind the listener of a time and a place. If you see there was an advert of a white person that they say, you know what I mean? That memory brings you to a certain space, right? That you remember something about it, you know what I mean? That's basically that. They draw attention to the product. That's what, you know, a new product would say, I'm bringing new customers so that they know about what they sell. Right? Basically add value to their property. That's what Coca-Cola is doing. They just add value. They remind you every day, you know what I mean? That Coca-Cola is nice. And you're definitely going to go and buy one. So that's basically why they actually doing an advert. But let me see. So you can use a sync. So any space that you want to use a song. So if you come into me and license a song for a sync, for an advert, and you look at all those, where you're going to use it? Cinema, television, corporate video, internet, website, games, or advertisement. So anything that you add, in most cases they choose. Like if you see there's more or less of a TV now, they do more internet. You know, you see a lot of advert on YouTube. You know, versus before we had a lot of radio, and they do TV and they'll choose cinema. They'll choose based on the product that they're selling and the market they're looking at. Right. So this is one of the structures that we use based on why we're charging the high fees for a certain sync and why we're choosing the lesser for the other ones. Right. If you look at there on the far right, it says, you see mechanical is on red dot. Underneath performance is in the black dot and simulation is a white dot, right? If you look on the first one, it says new writers. Normally when you find a new writer, you find that they actually, on mechanical, they sell a lot of copies. But in terms of radio play or TV play, you find that they need lesser, but they get lesser sync, right? So they sell copies, but people are not hearing it. They just sell copies. If you come to the second one, established writer, you find that they're selling copies and they're very well on performance, on airplay, you know what I mean? But you see the sync is going up because people now hear it, you know, now they can recognize it, and the sync people are saying, you have the numbers, then I can use the song because your song is now fair enough for, you know what I mean, for me to use it to sell, you know, to the market. If you look at the hit writer, like your Casper, I think a lot of people talk about they think they're selling a lot of copies. They actually not selling a lot of copies. Right? And if you look at, let's say, people, look at the rate it's a bit lower than if you look at the new writer. If you look at the performance, it's a bit there, but they get a lot of sync. And I'm sure you guys can attest. You see a lot of past adverts on TV. Because of it. No sales, a better radio, not amazing radio, but actually a lot of sync. Yeah.
May I ask why? New writer, hit writer, why is the hit writer making less on mechanical? I mean, a hit, is it
a hit song is recognizable. So, an advertiser wants to use a song that is well known, that's popular. So, a hit song definitely is going to get a lot of sync.
A hit song is going to get?
Yeah, a lot of synchronization, a lot of placement and adverts.
I see.
Yeah.
But why is the graph? Is that graph not necessarily representative of the numbers? Or is the graph just in terms of proportion?
So remember, if you look at the mechanical sales, they are not looking at the sales. What we selling?
So a new writer.
Yeah.
His song is not.
Advert is not looking for sales. It's looking for something that like the people can hear.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't care about sales. When we sell a song to advertiser, they don't know the numbers. They don't care. What they know that is that the public had the song and they're interested in the song. They know there's a number of people who hear the advert and see them.
Okay.
If you're choosing a cinema, television, internet, public, I put the number. Right? First remember, the artist is well known, the song is big, right? The song, they're looking for that that song. They're looking for that brand. You know? So we're looking at where they want to use it. They want to use it on cinema, TV. So I'm putting the number. I'm going to put a number. I'm putting a number based on how big the song is. I'm putting a number based on the artist. Then I'm putting a number where they want to use it. Right? Then when you look at territory, are you going to use it for national, continental, or international? If you edit, the more you're getting out of the country, the more the amount goes up. You understand? Right? The term, how long you're going to use it? For a month, years, perpetuity. So we found that perpetuity only happens in films. Because you can't keep the song out after you sing it into the movie. You have to be there forever. Right? So in South Africa, I haven't seen the numbers again to more than 50,000. You know, per use if you do the Black Panther that we based music on, you didn't get more than 100,000. Right? So films are, you know, are lesser for you, but you get leverage by the usage. So the more the film gets played and used in cinema, the more money you get as a performance and as mechanical as making copy of the copies. You understand? Right. So now we get into the agreements that evolved in the publishing world, right? Songwriter agreements. We have what we call a certificate of assignment. So a certificate of assignment is for specific works. So you want to sign literature publishing, but you say, now I only sign 10 songs, right? So you are signing your rights to a publisher, but you're signing only 10 songs. Before we used to do a lot of life of copyright, you'll probably find a lot of Karabo publishing agreements. It's like forever and ever, those songs will remain published by that publisher, but specifically those songs that are attached to the agreement, right? They stay here forever. That means that whatever they're making money, they're still going to collect their share and pay your share. In the older days, it's 50-50. You know what I mean? At share we do 2/3 and a third. So we do 67 and then 3.3 for the publisher. So now the second agreement is called exclusive agreement. Exclusive agreement is basically saying anything you write now, anything you wrote before, anything you write in the future, will be exclusively under that publisher. Are you hearing me? Right. Then we have what we call co-publishing. Me and Mandla discovered Sichaba and we decided, Mandla keep your own company, I'm keep my own company that we want to sign, this writer. We can sign this writer as two publishers in one song. There's a co-publishing deal. Right? On the other side are those smart people who says, I don't want to assign my rights to a publisher. Right? I want to do business to business. Right? So business to business, we have an administration agreement. You know what I mean? Even though they say establish South African composing companies, so you don't have to establish it. Start from the beginning. If you trust yourself, you say, this I have a program, I believe in it. I don't want to sign a specific deed. I want to do an admin. It means that when you assign your rights to your company, I administer those rights on behalf of your company. Does that make sense? So the key terms of a publishing agreement is exclusive over songs. Exclusive over songs. So you can't send songs that you assign to me, you can't assign it to another publisher. So exclusive. Exclusive over composer. Right? Even if you give me the songs, you're with me. Whatever you write for a song for Galo, Sony, BMI, you're exclusively a composer to that publisher. You can't anyhow move any song or move yourself to another company. Exclusivity under some law. African adjacent Indian Oceans, and the world. So basically, when I say exclusive over songs, exclusive over composer, I'm saying you're exclusively all around the world. So, I can get some publishing in the UK, in SA, but via me, you're exclusive to share, right? But someone else can administer or some publishing us on our behalf. Right? So there's a fixed term in there. So there's a 3 years or whatever it is that you agree on. It's fixed. Right? There is a detention and collection period involved. So after you terminate our contract, you'll find that there will still have a detention or collection period after. life of copyright, we don't do it anymore. And I explain, because of the deal that we still negotiating in South Africa, we felt actually that we need to start changing it. So you can actually, even though you fixed on the term, you can actually say, I want to have your songs or my song copied by you exclusively but for in 5 years. Then after the 5 years or 10 years, whatever you choose, the songs return back to you. Or you can assign them to someone else. So it's actually a choice. So I believe any agreement is not what you should be able to negotiate. The dealer does not give you the right to negotiate. It's not very in a fair business. Right? If you look on the right, royalty split, public performance, whoever understand it. When I say that, I said because it used to happen a lot in the olden days where publishers would take 50%, and because our parents also, including my father, they didn't care about the publishing. They wanted to do a stage, they wanted to perform. So most of these agreements were combined. You find that it's an artist agreement that is really publishing on it, or it's just a deed. They give them a fee of money and they just give away the rights like that. Right? So there's mechanical, there's a sync we spoke about, there's a cover we call it. So because I'm a publisher, and maybe they like your song in my sub-publisher territory, but someone else want to redo the song differently. We call it the cover. So we can give them permission to do that on your behalf, but the royalties are coming back from there, coming to us so that we can pay. Right? It's January to June, 90 days after. So January to June, 90 days after we pay you. July to December, 90 days after we pay you. Some reasons were because anything of your music playing today on radio, if you get your royalties from somewhere 18 months after.
18 months.
18 months after. Right, so you don't know what makes that, but you know what I mean, because of the metadata that comes, including in us when we get the metadata, we get a million list of songs because we have over 1 million songs in the system. Then we get the metadata, we have to match it with the system and be able to calculate what is due to everybody else and be able to send the statement on time. But I believe that we're trying to change that to 3 months because what we push so that people can get money. Because mechanical doesn't take 18 months. It should take 6 months to get to us. So we can be able to do 3 months, which should the industry should be able to do okay, until you guys resolve the conflict. When I'm dealing with a scene, people come to me and say, I don't know what I want to use this song. They don't have time. It's not like I'll wait for you guys for 3 days or something. When they want to sing, they want now. When I'm telling them that we have an issue with songwriters, they say, can you suggest another song? And I suggest another song. Because you guys are still didn't do what should have been done from the beginning. So you're losing business because of just simple things like that. Okay. In the new split sheet, you may need to include future performances, session musicians, producer for purpose of little time, right? So I think in the older days we were not used to that because we didn't know that personal bass guitar, even if you didn't compose or play drums or make a singer, is entitled for another royalty that doesn't involve us as composers. It's very important that you put that information in the split sheet. Who was playing what, who was doing that, who was doing that, all of the things because they need to be able to play. Like you'll be paid as a performance, mechanical or sing, they also have to be paid little time. Little time is based for performance, not performance. Not the songwriter, but performance. The people who perform, even though they didn't compose. Are you here?
So where do we get these split sheets? Sorry, Karabo.
Yeah.
The split sheets, where do you, can you draft your own?
Yeah, some does have one, but I think we can actually put together, I mean, we put together our own at the office so that we can actually make sure that all the writers have.
If you go to your website,
yeah.
Can we download?
Yeah, there's a split sheet. It's called some split sheet. Yeah. So, responsibilities of the publisher. We come from the era where publishers used to sign people and wait so that the money comes. So all they have to do is just register songs, the money comes, and they just take their money without doing anything else. That era ended. You know what I mean? It's either it's a management, if the manager doesn't do the job or waiting for you to find the gigs that you give the gigs to the show analyze, that era ended. we all need, because we need to think as a business, we all need people who bring value, you know what I mean, to what we do, so that it makes sense. We put that value by actually putting yourself together, recording it, and doing all that energy. You need everybody else that we actually hire to play the part. Are we together, guys? Yes. Right. So, we administer, exploit, or finding opportunities by pitching, songs, relationship building, and cards. So in our office, what we do is that we have a department, we call it creative department. So there's about 10 people sitting down there. Their main job is to know what each production house is doing, what they're working on. If there's a new show coming, you know what I mean, we need to know about it. We need to just want to pitch. And I can tell you that if you were to look generation, is Dingo, is Ibaya, revenue at the own city, if you were looking great, you're always going to share commissioners. You know, that's the job that we do. We go out and pitch. You need to know. You need to have people on the ground. The second part of our department is production department. These are people who deal with collateral. So what happens is that you guys want to be famous. You only compose music to actually get on stage and be known. But we also say, if you own a studio and you have a lot of pieces of music that they compose but they never make it to the album, what do you do with them? Normally you sit with them, copy their versions, you love them. And we say to you, you cut those songs, that's the intro, right to the point, but not more than 3 minutes. You give them names, you give us 50 songs like that, we take those songs, the other songs that we actually base them multi-generation is stable. Those songs that we hear behind when the actors are acting, those songs are what we call library music. Those are those pieces of music. You know what I'm talking about. In my office we have, we call, we call them elephants. And when we say elephants, because we're using an African animal, we use a beaver. We call them elephants, that means they are the top. The people that I'm talking about, the one that actually cuts and make pieces of music. They are the one that add more than anyone else, even more than famous people. Doesn't make sense? Yeah. The people I'm talking about are the people who actually earn more than anybody that's famous.
These are people who what? Who do the cuts?
Who do, yeah, the production music.
Or like library music.
Yeah, library music. So remember sample pays per second. Per second. So you have a 3 minute song and they use the whole 3 minutes a second. They actually pay. So if it's 2 cents to 3 cents, 3 seconds, 3 minutes, mine, how many seconds are there? One and time is there. And time is there by a year, and think of it. So one of the songs is the 3 songs, like the jingles, like the radio jingles. You hear them every day, every now and then after the news, before the news and all that, they're talking about someone if you've been 4 years inconsistently using that, you can talk around 7 or 8 million rand. That's a lot of money. TV pays radio. So on radio, you're only dependent on performance. On TV, dependent on performance and mechanical. There's a difference. So there's people in our office that actually that's what they do. Nothing else. They're retired from doing composition for musicians because that's their money there.
Library music. David Shapiro, one of those guys.
That's one of those, and you know that he's soon, you got millions of money. And he's been like that, and a lot of people, yes, a lot of people who are in that space were actually white people.
Yeah.
You know, and until we came to the game and we started manipulating the system and be able to allow people to come in. And I remember one of the days at the board, Basa, and I was fighting for it. There was the one guy, one of them was saying, these young kids don't know how to do library music. And I said, have you tested them? Have you tried? You know what I mean? It didn't make sense. You can't never, he's the one now signing a lot of black people. Because we took over, because we say, TV, drama series, they're speaking to black people. Why would you use a white person to do music for black people? Because if it is a riot, it's a Maskandi, why not have Maskandi there? You see the difference? And you can see that's why it happened, all the change happened. And they flee, now they are going to the same people that were saying they don't believe. Because they know that's where the money is. So you can sit down and they should forget to see you on stage. And they should focus on there. That's the connection.
Dude, Opali Wolfer told me about this, and yeah, he started doing it, and I'm like,
yeah, I'm the one who actually got it there.
I'm sure.
Okay. So unfortunately, I can't play the video because of internet. But what the idea here was to show you a few adverts that we have done already. We've done about 12. We're closing another, I think the 12 one will be closing this week. You know, and we take, when I'm speaking about sing, like really, if you think of Pastor Telcom, have you seen that advert?
Yeah.
The Telcom advert is Pastor. So there's two things involved there, right? There is a Pastor image, a person, because he's built that brand, right? That is worth more money than it is. Then the deal was over 7 million, right? But 1 million was for music. So the rest was for image, for him acting in there as the image. On that 1 million, when you talking about sing, when you sing, you're talking about two sides of the story. Remember we started to talk about the master recording when we started, and we said it's an intellectual property. So when you do a sing, when they say they're offering $1 million for that sing, they're offering me as a publisher for the writers that I represent. Who owns the master have to ask for the same 1 million, right? So what you do in the left, you do right. Totally different ballgame. The intellectual songwriters, they put their energy on writing that song. They have the same right, same amount of money the master owner has. So they can't say they pay 50,000 here, they pay 100,000. That's like no, it's not equally so on both sides. So if you're the owner of the master and you're also a songwriter, that's you have 2 million.
Impact or a bigger noise than the hit rate.
That's why you don't see something. You see the rate, it's mechanical. So you can't use your, if you want your brand to be bought by people must have had something. Immediately when I'm looking this way, TV is playing around behind me and they're playing an actor and I'm hearing a song, I think that song, and I look, I can see the actor. But if it's a song that I don't know, you know what I mean? You're talking about image, you're talking about things that he does, you know what I mean? Not the song. If I look at the song plays, you know, what is that song? I never know. But if it's a hit song, I'll bow to 10 and look at that. Okay, thank you guys.
If you allow, I'll sit. Yeah, so that we have a conversation. Yeah. But firstly, I think for continuing with this mission. This mission in Corona in the industry, we see it as very important because it is like a pan-African approach on developing music around. We started with the South. We know that in the West they are doing their things, they are being successful. In the sub-Saharan regions they are doing the same. But we're lagging behind as the Southern region. So we're very grateful that we can come across the border to share. And your undying spirit, you know, that we are not deterred by the fact that we've got 5 people. Because this is a business meeting. I mean, I would be surprised that we have a crowd. This is a business meeting. So music business is not for everybody. When we walk out of here, we are now just given tools to go make those crowds. Because that's where the business is. But secondly, I think it's very important for me to always say it's refreshing to listen to you, Karabo, when you speak. And I learn everything. I'm a sucker for education, and I enjoy it, you know. And your presentation, to me, it says, I don't know what is it with us Africans, that we've got all these creative talents, but we are not actually making money that we are supposed to make. Because all we are saying to us is our ability to get into studios, produce those works,
and make sure that we assign them. But we know the challenges are that we lack knowledge. we need to do what we do now to ensure that at least we help people to jump the river one black hand at a time. That's basically our approach now. There's nothing else we can do. And also thank you, my friend, for always being there with me. After this, we must get to work now. I have to drag this leader because he's such a greatest songwriter, master composer. He sits with tons and tons of compositions. Now, he is an elephant. But he does not want to be an elephant. So, and I'm glad that from here, our 4-hour drive back home, we have to deal with this thing. We've got a number of deals now in terms of the agreement. But thank you to you guys for being interested. And when we are saying interested, it's purely because when we say one black child at a time, we mean you guys. My job today is very simple. I want to touch purely or firstly on the issue of copyright, but looking at it from the home of a copyright, which is the record company. And then secondly, deal with the issue of artist management, because most of you might be interested in venturing in that as a career. And then I'll conclude on one simple thing, which is brand development. What Leader Karabo is talking about, and he concluded very well with question. We know promoters don't hire musicians. They hire brands and put them on a poster for the brands to attract their audience who will pay and bring those people for them to make the money that they will have paid. So let me get on it very quickly. One, that the nature of the music industry, or what we'll call the ecosystem of the music industry, must be understood. Many of us get into the music industry from picking up a mic and getting on stage. If that's what you want, know that you're going to become a worker in the space. So don't one day wake up and bother us that are business people in the space. Because I was sharing with Mandla and saying, songwriters, sometimes they want to become business people. But your talent is better placed at creating works. Let publishers run your business. In the music industry, I'm not a singer. I'm nobody. I don't care how your music sounds as long as I know how to sell it. So what is primarily important as we guide our people? We are saying, firstly, understand the types of recording companies that exist in this modern digital space time. Advocate Steve Kekana puts it very well, that it is okay to compose music or be a songwriter and also say I am independent as an individual. Remember, when you die with all of that. The copyright is gone. Now there are years that are attached to when you die and all of that, but once your works are not assigned to a specific legal entity like your company, it's difficult for anybody else when you are normal to deal with your works. Categorized as what you call orphan works. And orphan works is just a template and a catalog for government to enter the space of the music industry because they are taking care of those works, because the works are being utilized. But when money is being recouped, someone somewhere is actually eating on orphan works. And there are people in the music industry that are really eating on orphan works. They've got friends that compose music, they died. Those people are actually taking those music and beginning now to enter the space of publishing and then saying, you know what, I'm working on this work, this is my work, because you chopped that song that you composed, I've got access to it. So what do we normally advise? We say, we know in Africa there are major record companies. None of us will one day become a major record company. But we've got now privilege that we have what we call independent record companies. And we've got two types of independent record companies. There are independent record companies, which simply mean you can go into your country. In South Africa, there is what we call a Department of Trade and Industry, CIPC to be specific. You register your company. Then it becomes a legal entity. Then whatever works that you produce as an individual, as an artist, you can then be able to say to yourself, some of my works, when I'm making deals and the agreement that I'm signing here, I will sign them through my company. We are no longer confined in a brick and mortar, glass door, fancy offices, purely because we are now knowing that the legal entity, being the business, is the one that can enter into a relationship with, for instance, the first type of an indie, which is the one that is assigned or licensed by a major. So you can have an independent that is actually distributed through the major. So they give you a licensing fee there. So most of the independent that you see in South Africa that are successful, from Karabo, you name them, TS Records, their success were born out of the relationship with major record companies. So what is their main job? Their main job is to go into the wider skirts of the country, find talent, those Sahara, wherever they get them, bring them, teach them, dust them, and do what the Department of A&R used to do in the major record company. So as an indie, because you are a business person and stop the politics and being sentimental, you can say to yourself, Mina in Lesotho, I'm gonna be the only record company that has a relationship with Universal in South Africa. I'm gonna discover talent of Lesotho, expose it to Universal. You make your money, you are successful, your name grows. Or you become what we call a pure breed independent. Because remember that once you have a licensing deal with a major, there are agreements there are issues of copyright ownership, there are issues of assignment, there are issues of them owning your song or the songs that you bring in, or whatever artist that you bring in. They may sign them, they may co-own them with you. So you might not necessarily own the composition or own the master completely. The second type is pure breed. Pure breed is your Dr. Sello Khalan, who owns and finances his entire music. So Khapane Music owns Dr. Sello Khalan as a brand and owns the entire catalog of about 678 compositions that are sitting in the books of Psalms. Now, Dr. Sello Khalan might not be the famous guy, but he makes his money through your sync, because his music is out there in the world, but he does not have to be popular. Dr. Sello Khalan is one of the elephants, because he chops his own music and sends to the publishers to utilize in various spaces. Now, that is what makes you, and you having signed yourself into the record company, you now are an independent, because you can then treat yourself as an artist and complete all the forms that they were talking about when they were doing that. In essence, colleagues, I am saying that if you are a musician in Lesotho today, think about your brand 5 years from now and the works that you will have produced. if you want to just become a musician, you must look for a record company to sign you. But if you're thinking futuristic, you must then think about registering a record company, and I just gave you the 2 types. I'll leave it at that. You can ask me questions. What is a record company? What are the functions of a record company? But this first slide was very clear. Our job is to discover the artist, polish them, record them. After recording them, make sure that the record that is produced is distributed, that is marketing, promotion, and all of that, it leads to sales. That's our main function. What do we own? The copyright laws, different from various countries, but starts very clear. The copyright law says you've got right in composition, which is for those that create the music. And you've got copyright in sound recording. So that is the recorded works. So when you hear people say, hey, I'm an artist, I was sad here, I need my master. Now, don't engage that person. They are wasting our time. It means they are in a business they don't understand. Someone met with you and you said to that person, I want to be signed by you. They are not talented themselves, they just have the institution. What will they own when they have got investment money on you? That is why we always say, let the master rest with their record company. And it is in the copyright law that advances that right to them. It's not an automatic. So when we're talking about 3 major players, is the composers. The composers is those combinations, a songwriter, or the author, the lyricist, the arranger, all of those people, that is composition. These people are entitled to as much rights and rewards as possible. The second one is the producer, which is you, and in your language, you call a producer that guy that plays with beats. They call it beats. No, in the copyright, it sits as the investor in the music. So the owner of the record company or someone who has an interest in making sure that you further your career. Then there's a performer, okay? Performers are not necessarily the composers of music. No, composers are not often the producers of music. You can just be a performer, be known in the world, and don't worry about anything. But if you are worried about, you want to be in the music business, get in, register a company that will help you, or one day you can then become a CEO of your own.
Especially here in the city, we have that challenge where people don't really understand the legalities or the dynamics. Can you please break it further down to say who exactly plays what role from where to where, and who exactly owns what?
First, let me use a practical example. The hit song Jerusalem. There was a halapalu about owning the song. Now, in the media, they loosely say that. To say, but she owns the song. No one disputes the fact that she is part of the authoring of the lyrics of the song. So she is part of the bigger composition group that should have signed that split sheet. Now we will have known, but they have not done it when they were recording the song. What was the role of Master KG in that? What was the role of Mrs. Nomna and all of that? So we are sitting with a situation where, with composition, there is no discussion whether she has the right or in the song, because we know the copyright law tells you that there is a right in composition. So she falls in there. Whatever royalties that she will accrue, it is within her right that for the rest of her life, and maybe even after death, those rights still are enshrined with her as one of the creators of the song. Open mic is the one which is the record company that owns the master to the song. Because they are the one that said, Karabo and Master KG, get into the studio, we need to produce this song. So you can't all of a sudden minus them or assign this song to Master KG alone. Open mic is the record company. The same as a family tree that produces Casper, whatever that produces AKA. So there are independent record companies that are being formed. You know that Java left Ambitious to then form the 1020 records. Yeah, 1020 cartel. So now, the advice there, and you know that he works with one of the most seasoned administrators in the game. So the first thing that was important was that when you leave Ambitious, you must be assigned to something else. So they started the group or the 1020 cartel group, which is now the mother company that has a record label and a publishing wing. But they then take Java, they sign him in the same company that he is co-owning. So which means the real name of Java sits there as a director. But Java, the brand, is now the artist. So there's no confusion whatsoever in my mind that a record company owns a percentage of the song, which is in the olden days, somehow used to say 66% to 33%. I think I'm not sure whether it's still like that, but when you notify the song, it will tell you the composition. The composer owns the 66 part, and then the sound recording is 33%. It is still like that, but what is clear to us is that the master resides with the record company or the producer of the work. Of these parties, they own it. The visibility of this ownership, you can touch it on Nettle Time, because everything in Nettle Time, you split it 50-50. You can then touch this on audiovisual royalties. Everything you find in audiovisual, we normally encourage a 50-50 split, depending on the agreement that you have with the record company on the other side. So that dispute is clear, is sorted out. I don't think there's any confusion there. But what we know is that majority of the artists, when they want to leave a record company, they want to leave with a master. Why that is, I don't know. Because I don't know from what basis are they talking about. Because sometimes you need to understand, maybe when they were signed, they were already have completed the album. Because sometimes you submit to me your works. But at the time I'm giving you a recording contract, I will have known that either I'm signing you with recorded works already, and if you brought in recorded works and I did not buy you out of the recorded works, that is your master. But if you come to me today, you say, Baba man, I've been doing this, because the demo is not a record, it's not an album. So when you show me your ability and I decide to put you in the studio, arrange time, pay for everything, sometime we want that relationship to be close. But record companies have never had a good reputation in the continent, purely because of the exploitation nature of the business. Studios, then we burn the plantation and prepare for harvest next time. So stop being emotional when you sign with a record company, because the nature of a record company is surrogacy. Okay? We know you are killing our baby there. We need our bill. We don't have to love you because we have paid you for it. So I think those are the relationships that we must always think about. But remember, independence cannot be exploitative to us now. Now that we know how to treat business, we need to adjust what used to be exploitation. But I think nobody's doing a justice. And companies like ECO must do a lot of PR to change the perception, because our people are losing a lot of their composition when they die. Because if you are hit by a bus, you die just like that. All your works, wherever they were recorded, majority of the people who rob you are the people, the sound engineers. And also, you make sure that you pay, then you get your works out. If you don't do that, they will always rob you and they will chop your work because you have not paid for it. They own it and then they submit it. Then, Karabo, you wanted to add?
No, actually I wanted to touch on, so I mean from start what I was saying, so I go to the studio, or I get someone to the studio, I don't pay you as an artist to the studio. Do that person have the right to the master? Because if you pay me to get to the studio, I'm coming and I'm singing as an artist. I'm coming to perform because I'm working. I'm working there, then you pay the studio, but you haven't paid me. Will that not make me co-owner of the master?
No, it can't be. There are two things that happen in this relationship. The first thing is that once I own a record company, my major work is to identify talent. If there's a group in Lesotho is good, like I'm here now, I realize you are good, I sign you. So that recording contract tells you that you will be in a relationship with you for a particular period of time. Normally it's 3 years, normally it's 5 years. Normally it is based on the number of records that you have produced from you. Where you are quite right is that once I've signed you, the first relationship is very simple, is that I will now do many things for you, including some record companies give you a signing fee. But I might work with you, Sisi, alone. You might then start to identify that gentleman as the best guitarist, that one as a pianist, whatever. All of those people will be coming in as certain musicians. We pay them out because we don't need trouble. We say to you, you are here, you're gonna play the guitar, your rate is 3,000 per hour. We keep to that hour, we pay you out.
If you didn't pay them?
If you did not pay them, there are two things that happens. Is either you will have in your own agreement with the artist that the people have entitlement of a percentage in the song. That is why you will find that when we pay metal time, the first people that we think about will be the people that have made the song with you, not only our main artists. But also we must know that our people, when they get into studio, they get too excited. Okay? Sometimes we don't pay them because they are not worth paying. You know, because you give them food, they make a little celebrities. They just don't mind it, man. Okay, so a good example of those people is Bricks. Bricks changes an ordinary song into a hit. Bricks Mabrika, he'll tell you how to give a boy, how to give a boy. One thing, anger Bricks, very changing. Now, people like that are driven by their creativity as they sit there listening. Sometimes we know ignorance, there is no excuse, ignorance is not an excuse in law. So the fact that you did not ask for that sheet, the fact that you did not, I know you are featured in the song, but now we forgot, but why did you ask for the money, but you're not gonna come to me and say you own the master. Let me say to you, Lee, no one in the history of music have tested that in the court of law. For now, we are working on the advantage that no one has ever tested. They bring drugs, they bring girls, they just bring everything. This is the nectar. Okay?
Yes, I
so
know.
this is gangsters. We know. Okay? We know it. So we're doing it to distract you from asking a simple question. Do you have the split sheet? Okay? We have to distract you. Whether it is good or it is bad, I don't want to sit here and judge. But I'm saying, when you start the record company, let's try and make it cleaner. Okay? So, like every business people, in a restaurant, if they don't have a lampshade, they chop a dog. Okay? Because it tastes the same. So, we know, behind the scene, we don't know what happens. All you do is to serve the market. So we know that record companies have all sorts of wrong things, but the purpose of a record company, maybe just to conclude, is to say that think about your generation and make sure that your works. Sfiso One is a perfect example of an indie that said to himself, I will register one entertainment, in it there will be a record company. So it was easy for Mamwane to take over the business because Sfiso assigned his work into his own business. So I think it's a simple and perfect example, as I can put, overlooked as a career path. We use a chomi-chomi system, your spouse relation, your friend relation, and this wife who's managing me, and all of that. So we bringing these people just to take care of our money. We never bring them to us to actually develop your business. Now, shy away from an artist manager who jumps on stage and tests your mic and greets the audience before yourself. You know them. You know them. 1, 2, 1, 2. Are you there? Are you there? Right. Now, that's now the biggest problem, because it means that artist manager is actually living rigorously your fame through you. Because they want to be famous. They might have been failed family member who want to be a celebrity, but through you now, they always jump. Now, these are the people who, in the main, are not coming up with a strategy to look at this opportunity for your business. Once I've sealed a deal, in South Africa, I used to run Galaxy Management. They were calling it a Ferrari of artist management, because I'm a scholar in the space. When you come to me, we look at your career path first. We say, okay, so let's look at what is now, who are you, where do you want to go, and you need to do a thorough diagnosis and the positioning of the brand. Simple. When I met Mapaput, you'll all remember Mapaput of Ubanokumlis in Jalafin. And I said to Mapaput, had I met you first, you will be the face of dog food in this country. Because you've got your pedigree, you've got Apple, you've got these big companies that are producing dog food, and we buy dog food on a daily basis. But we don't have a black face carrying a dog. Why is it not you, Mapaput? Why are we not the one saying to Mapaput, your actual community service, you should then become the face of SPCA? Why are you not the one where SPCA, wherever they are, doing awareness about the dangerous diseases that are brought by dogs at home, use you to actually excite people? That will liberate you and your performances. Why don't we have dog leash that are actually of Mapaput? So for me, I'm saying, had I managed Mapaput with that fame of Ubanokumuli Zinjala, for me, I would have gone a mile, because I must think about Mapaput and his legacy and what he can actually deliver. The hit song Izinja is the one that put him up there, and Izinja means dogs, and dogs are making money, and people are milking us in our communities. Relationship between a manager is not really about a relationship between only the music promoters. That is just for performances. But you need to guide and be the one sitting in the office to make sure that if you have appointed share publishers, you managing all of that works. So every morning I must wake up and know how far is the brand of my artist. And also liaise with the record company to say, now the second album is due, or let's drop in a single. So a manager must actually do a 360 clock work in a relationship to make sure that they build a brand. Once that is done, normally you must have a contract between an artist and the manager. Take your 20%. Don't be desperate. Honest managers, Galaxy used to, we will receive 45,000 or 65,000 per year Shelling Club. Then we pay the entire 65,000 back into Shelling Club as account. And when he's satisfied with his performances, he then pays us our 20%. Because you see, managers by nature, they become notorious. They can charge double your amount because the money gets into their account first. Then they only pay you the 65% or the 65,000 that you charge. When you get on stage or at the event, they manage you that you never even have an opportunity to talk to the organizer. Now, but their lifespan is short by nature because one day when an artist says, but how much money have we made since we were together? Can I see the contract that you have signed on my behalf? It's very difficult. And that is where the dispute between a manager and an artist start. Don't follow that trend. That trend is just simple shortcut. It will short-live you. There are many that have not done well. And Mabala Noise is one of the greatest record companies that bought its way in. Where is it now? So those are the realities. And most of the artists that come in, they left it because they knew, hey, these ones, they are reviving our career, but not the right way. Make sure that your own work speak volumes. Put a good team around you. Work on a beautiful strategy. I tell you, you take this strategy, you present it to a major record company, they will buy into it. They will distribute your work. You take great work, well packaged, well assigned, nicely accredited. Once you do that, you take to a radio station, you give them the numbers. You say, we dropped this album last week as a record company. We have seen the spins in the clubs. We've seen this number. We've seen this number. When you pitch it in your letter for a music committee, they actually get excited because they're thinking that these persons know what they are actually doing. So a brand is very important. But don't, these hip hop boys, stop calling yourself side 4, 2 nigga, 3, 19. You can't work on a complicated name, man. I don't know, man. You know, you start saying a lot of things and they're telling you that there are niggas who cannot pull a trigger. It's all those guys, but stick to the name that you know that if we said Naledi, let everybody remember Naledi is you. Now, if I say Arthur, the first person that comes into your mind is Adam Afuka. Okay? There are names like Ringo, Sahara. These are brands, man. They've worked on them. So if you want to really succeed in the music industry, build your brand, make it solid. Yeah, 074 754 4477. This leader knows I've given myself up to be accessible at any time by anybody. I don't care who you are. But I can talk to you and guide you the way you want. 074 754-4477. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks leadership for bringing us in this beautiful, cozy environment. I can do take one or two questions if they are ready. It's no longer a job. It's his passion. He likes it. He talks about it. He finds it easy. When you manage an artist, if you build a brand, let people know you that you are there. Don't tell an artist and say, it's you now, you must do it for yourself. That's not love. Be there. You know, I don't know how many times my wife has challenged me about using my family assets. Be it cars to like I can call it out, but I'll make sure that my artists are at home, all of them at the same time. That dependence as well actually makes your business very nice. Because when you open a gap, someone comes in, either a family member influences them. You know, artist managers are the most fired people and the coaches. When every artist that is a nobody today, tomorrow they are quester, they are reminding you in a hotel somewhere that don't forget I pay your bills. In fact, as a matter of fact, as I speak now, you are no longer my manager. Move on. That is the world we live in. Once they become big brands, they are no longer.